Living in Willow Creek, I never imagined my backyard chickens would spark a full-blown war with the HOA's most ruthless board member, who kept stealing my fresh eggs straight from the coop. When Evelyn pushed me too far with threats of crippling fines, I hatched a daring plan for revenge: fake eggs that exploded with dye on contact. Little did I know, my prank would unravel a web of deceit and transform our entire neighborhood. The blare of my 5:30 a.m. alarm yanked me from sleep. Groggy, I remembered why I'd set it so early: my chickens. 6 months ago, I'd built a pristine coop in my Willow Creek backyard. My hens, Clara, Daisy, Hazel, and Luna, rewarded me with the richest eggs I'd ever tasted. "Morning, ladies," I called, stepping into the coop. But something was wrong. Yesterday, I counted 9 eggs. Today, only 4 remained. Puzzled, I wondered if the hens were stressed. I collected the eggs and headed inside, unease creeping in. For a week, the pattern persisted: fewer eggs each morning. I started tracking their laying habits in a notebook, confirming my hens were producing normally. Someone was stealing them. But who? While chatting with my neighbor Tom over the fence, he dropped a hint. "You know, Evelyn from the HOA board's been strolling by your place every morning," he said. "Odd, since she's never up that early." Evelyn Harper. The name alone made my stomach churn. She joined the HOA board 2 years ago and turned Willow Creek into her fiefdom, dictating everything from lawn ornaments to fence heights. Could Evelyn be stealing my eggs? I decided to find out. The next morning, I skipped my routine and hid behind my garage, phone camera ready. At 6:10 a.m., a figure in sleek workout gear slipped through my side gate: Evelyn. Her blonde ponytail swayed as she crept to the coop, glanced around, and snatched several eggs, tucking them into a chic tote bag. I stepped out, heart pounding. "Find what you're looking for, Evelyn." She jolted, nearly dropping the eggs, her face flushing before hardening into a smug glare. "I'm collecting evidence," she snapped. "Your chicken shack violates community standards." "Does evidence collection involve trespassing?" I shot back, struggling to stay calm. "Or theft?" Evelyn smirked, pulling a formal notice from her bag. "Your coop must be gone in 10 days, or you'll face $150 daily fines." I took the paper, hands shaking. "There's no rule against chickens," I said. She leaned closer, voice dripping with venom. "The board passed a new amendment last week: no livestock, including chickens." Should have attended the meeting. I'd been working late shifts at the hospital, where I'm a nurse and Evelyn works in administration. She knew I couldn't make it. "The eggs are just a bonus," she added, patting her tote. "They're divine in my smoothies." As she sauntered off, I stood frozen, rage simmering. Those chickens weren't just pets, they were my sanctuary. After grueling hospital shifts, their gentle clucks and playful pecking melted my stress. Plus, their eggs slashed my grocery bills during tight months. That night, sleep eluded me. The HOA's new rule was real, but they hadn't followed proper notification protocols. Fighting them would be costly and draining. Then, while scrolling online forums about HOA disputes, I found inspiration: a homeowner who deterred fruit thieves with dye-filled fake fruit. A wild idea sparked. The next day, I hit craft stores, buying ceramic eggs, washable red dye, and silicone sealant. At home, I drilled tiny holes in the eggs, filled them with dye, and sealed them shut. I placed them prominently in the nesting boxes, hiding the real eggs elsewhere. As I went to bed, my pulse raced. Was this petty? Maybe. But Evelyn wasn't just enforcing rules, she was relishing her power, stealing my eggs for her gain. "Sometimes you have to stand up to bullies," I whispered, drifting off, wondering what dawn would bring. At 6:18 a.m., a piercing scream shattered the quiet. I was already awake, peeking through my blinds. There stood Evelyn by the coop, her designer outfit and hands drenched in red dye, lolling an exploded ceramic egg at her feet. I grabbed my phone, recording as I stepped outside. "Everything okay, Evelyn?" I asked, feigning innocence. She whirled, face twisted with fury. You did this on purpose. Look at me, this is assault. I'm confused, I said, still filming. Why are you in my yard at 6 a.m., touching my decorative eggs? Decorative? She sputtered. You booby-trapped them. They're craft projects for my hen's inspiration, I said, barely hiding a smirk. Why are you trespassing again? Evelyn's eyes narrowed. I'm calling the police and our lawyer. You'll regret moving here. I stayed calm. Before you do, know I have footage of you stealing my eggs all week. Trespassing and theft are crimes. My decorating isn't. She froze, then hissed. Delete that video. No, I said. But leave my chickens alone, and I'll keep it private. For a moment, I thought she'd back down. Then her face hardened. You don't know who you're messing with. I run this neighborhood. She stormed off, leaving red footprints in her wake. 3 days later, an email hit my inbox. Emergency HOA meeting, health hazard at 312 Oak Lane. My address. Evelyn had called a meeting to discuss toxic substances and aggressive behavior at my property, attaching photos of her dye-stained hands. She'd framed herself as a victim of my booby traps during an official inspection, omitting her theft. Worse, she'd sent the email to the entire neighborhood, painting me as a menace. Texts flooded in from neighbors. Are you keeping dangerous animals? My kids walk by your house. Evelyn was turning Willow Creek against me. Panicked, I called my sister, Lisa, a paralegal. She can't do this, Lisa said. Emergency meetings need specific conditions, and you have evidence of her trespassing. Go public. HOAs hate scrutiny. That night I built a website. Save Our Willow Chickens. Uploading photos of my spotless coop, happy hens, and damning footage of Evelyn's thefts. I added research showing backyard chickens don't hurt property values or create noise, plus neighbor testimonials praising my eggs. I printed flyers with a QR code to the site and slipped them into mailboxes. By the HOA meeting, the tide was shifting. The community center was packed, and neighbors split into camps. Evelyn strutted in with the HOA president, Mr. Bennett, her smile tight. Bennett, a retired judge, called the meeting to order. We're here to address complaints about 312 Oak Lane, unauthorized livestock, and an attack on an HOA officer. Evelyn stood, brandishing her dye-stained jacket like a trophy. She set a trap that could have injured me. I raised my hand. Why was MS Harper on my property at 6 a.m., stealing eggs? Murmurs spread. I played the footage, showing Evelyn's thefts over 12 mornings. The room erupted. That's no inspection, someone shouted. I handed out documents proving local ordinances allowed hens, and the HOA's amendment was invalid due to improper notice. My hens are clean and quiet, I said, showing photos. Then my ace, a survey showing 74% of residents supported backyard chickens. As for the trap, it was a ceramic egg with washable dye, a deterrent for a thief. A Channel 9 news crew slipped in as I finished. During a recess, neighbors shared stories of Evelyn's overreach, stealing tomatoes, flowers, even a lawnmower. The vote was a landslide. My chickens stayed, and Evelyn faced a conduct probe. Evelyn cornered me after. This isn't over. I'll sue you. I handed her detergent. For your jacket. The news crew filmed it all. The next day, Channel 9's segment branded Evelyn a rogue enforcer, me a scrappy hero. But victory felt uneasy. Evelyn hadn't left her house since. Then Bennett visited, soaking wet. Evelyn resigned, but there's more. We found $16,000 missing from the HOA fund. We think she's been skimming. He offered me her board seat. You're a watchdog. We need that. I said I'd consider it. Days later, a crash outside jolted me. Evelyn was in my yard, swinging a shovel at my coop, hens scattering in the rain. If they're gone, your fight's over, she screamed. I ran out, slipping in mud, and grabbed the shovel. Evelyn, stop! Neighbors watched, filming. We tussled, falling into the mud, then, absurdly, started laughing. Exhausted, she said. I'm moving to Nevada. Fresh start. I helped her up. If you didn't take the money, help me find who did. She nodded, eyes softening. Weeks later, my probe uncovered the real culprit, the HOA treasurer, Evelyn's ally, who'd embezzled for years. She'd known but stayed silent for his votes. I joined the board, passing a farming ordinance that balanced rights and rules. Evelyn sent a postcard from Nevada, desert quail, no words. It sits on my fridge, next to a clipping about our new community garden, where neighbors swap eggs and tips. That red dye egg still sits on my sill, a reminder, standing your ground builds community, and even bullies can spark change. What do you think? Was my prank justice or too far? Share your thoughts below. Let's debate pranks and neighbor disputes. Hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more wild HOA tales.